What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be taking a look at my top 24 Marvel Legends for 2024. That's right, it's countdown season, so you're here. It's my list. It's my turn to go through what I felt were the best Marvel Legends of 2024, so I appreciate you dropping in to check that out. Of course, it is just my list, so feel free to let me know what you felt were the best or worst Marvel Legends of 2024. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Criteria for my list, fairly simple. It's pretty broad. I'm just going through what I felt were the best Marvel Legends for 2024, excluding Build-A-Figures and deluxe re-releases, so things like Venompool, right? So they won't be included in this list, but other than that, pretty wide open. Again, feel free to let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and while you're at it, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and if you're up for it, hit that join button, get some exclusive perks for the channel. Other than that, sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Let's check it out. Number 24, kicking off the list, is Luke Cage. Sweet Christmas. So just a really nice update for a character that really needed the update. We got the one in the previous year that didn't really hit the mark for a lot of people. This was a good modern one. You get these great brass knuckles to go with it. It just adds a lot of great look to this character, and I mean, he just stands out on the shelf. He would have been higher on the list with a little bit more updated articulation, but still, I feel it was worth adding on the list and part of this great 2-pack. Full disclosure, Iron Fist isn't on the list, but Iron Fist was also a great update, so solid 2-pack all around, but Luke Cage taking it. Number 23, Tombstone. Tombstone comes in, he's on this retro card, looking good. This nice suited body, you get these head sculpts with some great expressions. Everything looks pretty good and really stands out on the shelf, especially for a Spider-Man villain shelf. Again, I really love the suited body they went with, and it was a nice upgrade for a figure I didn't know I needed an upgrade for, and sometimes that's the nice surprise. Number 22, Lady Mandarin Psylocke. Now, this is a figure that was a surprise for me, one that I wasn't even looking forward to, really, because I only got it because it was a Wolverine 2-pack. Now, when I got this out of the package, you realize how much detail is in there. There's a lot of great detail. The face sculpts look so nice. I mean, they have a real premium quality to them, and that was just a lovely surprise for a Marvel Legends figure. So, again, one that I wasn't looking forward to, but one that is certainly deserving of a spot on this list because of how impressed I was out of the package. Number 21, Crystar. Now, right off the bat, I'm going to be in love with this figure because it's translucent plastic and I'm a sucker for that. It just looks cool. It has presence on the shelf. You can get some light in there and illuminate things, and at the end of the day, for me, it really is about shelf presence, and that leads to a lot of these choices here. Crystar, very random character, but one that I was happy to grab and happy that they put out. Number 20, She-Hulk. Now, here's one I was really looking forward to, a nice big build on a female body for Marvel Legends to give us a little bit of diversity and height for our characters, and she really does do that. Has a nice green pop to her. That green really stands out with all the colors on the shelf, and really just adds a nice touch to any display. So certainly one that I felt was worthy of mentioning this year, and one that I'll continue to enjoy on the shelf. Number 19, Secret Empire Captain America. Now, here's a figure where I had zero expectations. I wasn't sure what I was going to be getting with this, or if I would even like it or have a space for it on the shelf. But once I opened this figure and got it out and messed around with it a little bit, I was just impressed by the overall design. I mean, it looks like it's coming off the page. The aesthetic is great. It has this great look to it. The paint app is really on point. There is not much to dislike about this figure. Number 18, the Wasp. We had a lot of great two packs this year, but in every two pack, there's always one that stands out. And the Wasp for me is the one in this two pack. Don't get me wrong, the Giant Man was a nice figure, but I didn't feel like that was deserving of this list, but the Wasp certainly was. She looks great. That Janet head sculpt is fantastic. The masked head as well. So you just have a lot to love here. She displays so nicely with the Giant Man HasLab 2. It was such a complimentary piece. Number 17, The Punisher. Now, here's one where I thought we wouldn't get a classic looking Punisher for a while. Now, it's not super classic, right? We're in World War Journal style here, but still a very nice Punisher. And for those of you who don't have a classic Punisher, certainly great fill in. The guy came stocked with guns. Another two pack, right? Bushwhacker, cool figure, but has, its own quirks, right? Love him or hate him, you do what you want, but still a perfectly awesome Punisher. Number 16, Scarlet Spider. Here's one that I felt needed an update, right? The other two had become a little bit more cost prohibitive for some collectors, and it was time to get a better body on this figure, and this one delivered. It did not disappoint, and I am super happy with the outcome for this Scarlet Spider. It's got a nice bright red pop. The vest on this figure has this great texturing that just really comes to life somehow. There's a lot to like here. You get toe articulation, you've got plenty to choose from. It displays super well. Number 15, the Sentinel. Now, this was a kind of hard two pack to track down, right? It sold out almost immediately, came back for a limited restock, and sold out again. So, if you got this, then you understand. Now, while I'm not doing two packs, this is essentially two of the same figure in one pack. So, you can kind of look at both indifferently. This is just highlighting that we not only got good comic figures, animated figures, but we also got good game related figures. And this two pack fits in very nicely. I have it just in my regular X-Men display, and I love that we got 6-inch scale Sentinels. Number 14, 85th Anniversary Venom. This one might catch a little flack, right? I totally understand criticism for this figure. Some people don't like how the neck doesn't go back far enough, but for me, this had just the right amount of updates to an already great Venom build on that Omega Red body. It has some really good detail in here. I love both head sculpts, even though the one is just a minor update, but this one really grabbed me, and it just grabs the essence of what I want on a shelf. The Venom looks great. It has some great updates. It's worthy enough for a spot on this list, but not too high on the list, so that's why it lands where it does. Number 13, Cable. I like this figure because you can use this in either like your X-Men display or a Marvel vs. Capcom display. So again, it gives you a lot of displayability, a little bit of flexibility for your display. It's a good looking figure. Some complaints about the arm, but for me, that doesn't really take away from the figure. It still looks really nice aesthetically and just gives me that Cable that I was really holding out for. Now, I love both of these Cables, but good to get this version. Number 12, Power Princess. Here's a figure that just looked beautiful out of the packaging, right? So essentially Marvel's Wonder Woman. She looks the part. Nice, tall female character. Something that we got a few of this year, right? She-Hulk on a different body, but it has lent itself to some great diversity in height for your female characters. These ones just look so good. They're coming out so well made. And Power Princess is no exception to that. So she is certainly a figure that I really loved, and getting to add more to that Squadron Supreme was just a cherry on top. Number 11, X-Men 97 Cyclops. Not only was this a great representation of the source material for an excellent animated series, but this Cyclops fits so nicely into just my general X-Men display, and that was what I was most excited for. Getting this optic blast that just adds that dynamic pose that I needed for the display. Such a good upgrade from this Cyclops here, but that optic blast is really what gives it what I wanted in my personal display, and that's why it's deserving of a spot on this list. Number 10, Secret Wars Captain America. Now, how do you improve on what was already a great version of Captain America? Well, you put out a Secret Wars wave and you give us this guy. This Captain America grabs the essence of exactly what I want on my shelf. It's got such a great powder blue to it. He's got great expressions. The shield, it's a great effect shield. For those of us who have plenty of shields, that's cool to have for photography and stuff. I understand if you wanted a regular shield, but they do exist. So I don't need that necessarily. This Captain America is so good, has such great presence, and complements the Avengers nicely. Number 9, Sabretooth. Such a great update to a figure that needed an update, right? So we had a Sabretooth back in the Apocalypse wave. It was kind of small. It didn't really grab your attention on the shelf, but this guy does. So you get him on the Omega Red body. It's a good, big, brooding body. What Sabretooth really needed to have that presence on your shelf. And this guy delivers. I mean, you can see here, this is the comparison between the two. The newer version really giving you that presence on the shelf. Number 8, Astonishing Wolverine. What better way to follow up a Sabretooth than with a Wolverine, right? And for the amount of Wolverines that we received this year, surprisingly, this is the first one to make the cut on the list, but it is, in my opinion, the best one. Now, Astonishing X-Men isn't exactly my favorite, right? It's not even the era that I draw the nostalgia from, but this figure just came out so nice. I like exactly how it came out. Both head sculpts are fantastic. They've got great expression. The Wolverine looks great. And that's exactly what I want out of an action figure. And this delivered. Number 7, Superior Spider-Man. In a year full of updates and upgrades, this was one that certainly was deserving and probably very overdue, right? That original Superior Spider Man just was not a very good figure and was missing a lot of what it needed. And this figure came through, delivered, and gave us what we wanted on the shelf. I specifically liked the way they gave that mirror look in the eyes, right? A little bit different, a little bit new, not for everybody, but definitely one of the things that stood out for me in this figure and gave it just an extra little bit to display. Number 6, Carnage from Venom, Let There Be Carnage. I don't collect as many movie related Marvel Legends as I once did, but occasionally one will come out that really grabs my attention and certainly demands the presence on the shelf. And this Carnage is no exception. Now, the movie, take it or leave it for what it is. I don't know, not exactly my favorite thing, but this Carnage looks so good that it just needed to be purchased, right? You've got all this tentacle extensions coming out, these great head sculpts. It's dominant. It's so bright red. It's what you need on a shelf. Number 5, Death's Head. This is probably one of that I would consider like a sleeper hit for this year, especially for me. This was announced. It came out for San Diego Comic-Con. Just something that really captured the essence of what they were trying to do, right? You've got the great card inspiration there, the box art puts it all together. The figure comes right off the card out of the comics. That head sculpt is cool. I just from a total toy aspect, this is very toyetic, very nice, kind of just the figure that draws to you whether you collect it or not. So for that reason, that's why it cuts the top 5. Number 4, Deluxe Phoenix. This is exactly what I want when it comes to effects from Marvel Legends, right? You get everything that you'd like. You get to see the power set in full effect, just in all of its glory on display. You've got great head sculpts as well. So this was just a nice figure with some good accessories to go along with it. When you talk about display ability, this is exactly what it comes down to. And that's why the Phoenix makes it into the top 5. Number 3, Angel. Talk about long overdue, but certainly worth the wait. When it came to Angel, that was one of the few remnants left from Toy Biz that hadn't had an updated figure made yet, and this one delivered. You get the nice Vulcan buck on there, a little bit modified to accommodate the wings, but it just looks so good. The wingspan is so nice, so evident. It really takes up some good wall space and just does justice to the character. So for that reason, that is why this has cracked the top 3 of my countdown. Number 2, Odin. He's big, he's beefy, he's the Allfather. What else would you want from something that requires such dominating space on your shelf? Now, I've got him up in Asgard and he's commanding the troops, and it looks good. I love the way that this figure came out. So big and daunting. The accessories are nice, the head sculpt is great. I just think that this is what I want when it comes to an ever-present type of figure on the shelf. And Odin certainly delivered. Asgard looks even better. And the Baf was already something that really looked cool on the shelf. So good on this. You even get a little soft goods for those of you who like that. That wasn't so much for me, but still very nice. And coming in at the number 1 spot, none other than the Danny Ketch Ghost Rider. Again, this is my list, and this is what I felt gave me the most value this year, the best presence on the shelf, and something that just had some great 90s nostalgia to it. It's a Ghost Rider figure, and Ultimate Riders were something that I really liked, and I'm glad that we got this. We don't get a ton of these anymore. The bikes take up a lot of space, and understandably so, but it just looks so good. Talk about presence on the shelf, and this is what I mean. You put that on the shelf, it's a centerpiece, draws everyone's attention. You get that great fiery look into the tires, into the effects. Danny looks good. Say what you want about the height, but look, when I'm standing 5 feet away from the shelf, am I going to notice? No, absolutely not. What I do notice, though, is how damn good this looks on my shelf. So for me, that's what it boils down to. At the end of the day, am I happy with the purchase? Do I like what I got? And does it do what I want? And Danny Ketch Ghost Rider hits all of those notes and more. For that reason, and those reasons I should say, that is why Danny is taking home the number 1 spot for 2024. It was a good year all around for Marvel Legends, so this one was a little bit harder to put together than last year. Of course, I may have missed some things that you felt should have been on the list. Feel free to let me know down in the comments below, and let me know what some of your favorites for 2024 were. A good year indeed, right? Again, that's the 2 cents, folks. I appreciate you checking out the video. Of course, you can always find me on any of these socials down here. While you're at it, though, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and feel free to hit that join button while you're at it. Until next time, take it easy. I'd rather be drinking with my friends. When we go out, you never see us again.